All right, the Reds talking Reds Mondays, talking Reds. Gareth Roberts, Craig Hannan. We're at Anfield. You might gather that. It's fucking freezing. And now we're down here to do a bit of media around, is it around winning the league or around Atletico or both?
It could be either, Gareth, I'll be honest.
I mean, we're just pros, so we'll take it whatever it is. But yeah, we're down to do that, so we thought we'll do this as well, while we're here. Loads to talk about, obviously. The Reds won at the weekend, the Reds were sound, the Reds found their way to win again. Jurgen was made up, triple fist bumps galore. And then City yesterday, did you watch it?
It's wild. I was out and I listened on the radio for about the last 20 minutes, got in about 5 minutes until the end, so I was able to see the second goal. It's a strange one because after it I was like trying to work out all the sort of permutations of how we can win it, like where it can be done, and then immediately got excited at the prospect of Eiler Goodison, but more so the 5:30 kickoff against Palace on the Saturday. You know, obviously there is a world where we win this without playing again, which is wild, and is one that
twice this week, don't
is one that I don't want to entertain. Really, I don't want to think about that because that is the worst way to win a league, which sounds like it's a mad sentence in itself. But you know, winning at Goodison is something special. You know, winning it where everyone gets to be there, all of the fellas that have been, you know, have had season tickets the last 30 years or have been going, or all the little kids, like just all the different kind of people. There's basically getting the most amount of people into a football ground to see Liverpool win the league in that moment. I want it to be the 5:30 at Palace.
No, I'm the same. I want it to be that because I think, well, I probably won't be at Goodison, I've got to be honest. The likelihood of me getting a ticket for that is slim, I would say. And yeah, it'd be good for it to be at Anfield, I think. And we just all been panicking a little bit this morning, haven't we, about this coronavirus and about the idea that it could affect sporting events. Obviously, in Italy, they're playing footy behind closed doors and stuff like that, and you're like, fucking, you're not closing them doors, lads. Do you know what I mean?
What would the point be? Like,
I've waited all these years, you're not closing them doors. I like the idea as well, over the weekend, the thing about, you know, you might not be able to come to match if you're over 70. And I was thinking, well, how do you police that? He was like, sorry lads.
IDing them all.
You know what I mean?
Not coming in today.
Not coming in. And like, obviously it would mean as well that, you know, if it was against Palace, well, Roy Hodgson can't come.
Oh shit.
I mean, that's no bad thing because he's an absolute knob, so.
I think the behind closed doors thing, like, I mean, it worries me so much that we've waited this long, and then that, you know, a fucking virus comes along and does this to us. I think if they put it behind closed doors, there'll be 50,000 people turning up out the stadium anyway, just to sort of be together in that moment. It would be madness. Like, Fuad's been giving me lots of sort of more medical advice this morning on, like, you know, trying to contain it. And
he's definitely the man for that. Dr. Fuad.
Video at the Anfield Wrap. Knows fuck all about doctors.
I mean, I'd probably listen to like the World Health Organisation and that over Fuad, to be honest. But you know,
he's been worrying me though, Fuad. He's been worrying me. He's been telling me how you know, talking about all the different games and about how PSG and Dortmund and the Champions League's going to be behind doors, and you know that feels closer to the UK than you'd want it to be if it's in Paris. This is the first morning I've been a little bit worried about it, mostly because we come into the office and I was bouncing in thinking, happy days, you know, 2 more games to go. We're either going to win it at Goodison, we're going to win it at Anfield and a 5:30.
Neil's got it, everyone's at.
Neil came in and did a big meeting about coronavirus and how, like, everything could be cancelled and, you know, football gets cancelled. What would be the point in playing football behind closed doors? Like, they're just, like... What you don't get anything from it as a fan, and the footy players, imagine them scoring and then just running around going, and there's no one there.
You've won the league and there's no one there. Yeah. Be absolutely wild. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen for now. The announcement this morning appears to be that sporting events, there's no plans to cancel them or play them behind closed doors as things stand. There is a piece though on the Athletic about the sort of the steps that Liverpool are taking, so like players aren't going into sort of lounges afterwards and mixing with fans and things like that. There's no mascots either anymore for the moment. Obviously there's the handshake ban as well, which the Premier League's brought across the league. I mean, it's one of them, isn't it? I mean, it's got to be taken seriously, obviously, and you've got to listen to the experts and you've got to take the advice. And I thought Klopp was great on it as well, by the way, last week, where, you know, he was obviously asked about it and he's just like, I'm not an expert, we take advice from elsewhere and then we do what they say. So hopefully we'll be sound. But yeah, City yesterday, I just thought well, they weren't particularly good, were they? And the goalie as well had an absolute nightmare on both goals. There's every possibility, I think, that they lose one more. I mean, the only thing is that they're both at home. So Arsenal and Burnley, isn't it? Both at home. I guess on paper you'd say they're winning them. But it is very much in flux, isn't it, about where we finally win this league? Like,
it'd be a very strange Wednesday night, wouldn't it? If there's a world where you go out of the Champions League, but then City lose, and it's like it'd just be a very strange feeling in the ground, wouldn't it? And I mean, there's a certain part of me that just kind of wants them to win on Wednesday, and then it just sort of it puts to bed this idea of the possibility of winning it when we don't play, because that would be shit. That would be shit. And at least then you go into the Burnley game knowing that if they win, well, you can't lose, because you get to see it happen in Anfield. Hopefully, if they drop points, then there's the possibility of it being at Goodison, and that's a win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, let's hope it's at home. So I'm sticking to that. That's my plan. I want it to be at home. What else have we got to say on this one? Luke 1977. We're doing stuff with them all season. These fellas. Pointing at my nipple again on videos. But yeah, TAW15 to get 15% off all their full price clobber. The link is in the description, and something should flash up on the screen as well. So yeah, go and have a look, use the discount code, and if you're a subscriber, you can get 20% off by looking up the code in our group on Facebook. Tour Player Subscribers, it's called. If you're not in that already, get yourself in there. These boys are enjoying the Trent mode. I'm not sure about what he's getting a picture of there, though, but yeah, here's a clip from the post-match pint.
The Atletico game, I think this game came at the perfect time, didn't it? This allows us to reset. You mentioned Fabinho there. Like, if you're a footballer and things aren't going well for you, you just keep everything simple until they do come. Until suddenly you play a ball and you're like, "Fuck, now this is me back in the game." Yeah. And I thought Fabinho just sort of kept everything simple today, and I feel like Madrid's it's the perfect next game, because, like you say, the atmosphere is going to be brilliant. Everyone's going to be up for it, because suddenly it isn't just this tie where Liverpool waltz in and win it and we go through, and it's we're 1-0 down, and they're going to need us and we're going to need them, and it's going to be this two-way thing that's worked so well in European competition over the past 2 years. I just think the Madrid game comes at a perfect time now for all of the players, and I think today can be a real springboard for them. That we've got this little blip out of the way. Like I said, you can't peak the whole way through. There's peaks and troughs. You watch Man City and they peaked at times, and then they've found it difficult for prolonged periods. They've got beaten, and suddenly we're 22 points clear or whatever. I think today's the beginning of something now. It's the beginning of the run-in. It's the beginning of all of the big games, and it's the beginning of hopefully Liverpool in the Premier League.
So yeah, that is the post-match pint there. That is part of our stuff that we do on our subscription package. After every single Liverpool game, we preview it, review it. We have a professional coach in the studio to review it as well. So loads and loads of stuff. Check it out. Download the Anfield app. Get some free tokens, have a go of the subscription content, see if it's for you. We are back at a freezing Anfield on this Monday morning. We should probably talk a little bit about the Bournemouth game then, shouldn't we? I mentioned that, we obviously got back to winning ways and it was much needed. It wasn't, it's fair to say it wasn't a classic, and obviously it requires, a spectacular goal line clearance from James Milner and that kind of thing. I mean, their goal still has annoyed me that it was even allowed, because it's the most blatant push you see. But it was all just about getting it done, wasn't it? I mean, some fella's written an absolute essay on the clip from the post-match pint on YouTube, and just do one, lad. That's my special message to you.
What was he saying though?
He was having a go at me. He was having a go at what we'd said. He was saying I can't believe, they're just basically saying Liverpool aren't very good, and it's like, lad, look at the league table and shut up. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we didn't play. It wasn't amazing, was it, on Saturday? It was just getting the job done, wasn't it?
Yeah, we spoke last week about maybe getting a few goals under our belts and sort of putting in a performance that means we're bouncing into Atletico, and I think quickly it just became a game where we needed to win, needed to get the 3 points, and I'm fine with that. I think there was positives to take through that to do, and exercise in the background.
Mr. Motivator.
And I thought Salah was brilliant. I thought James Milner was great. I thought seeing the video from beforehand in the game just goes to show what, you know, having leaders around there.
Yeah.
And look, we've got leaders all around the pitch, we do. But it feels like Milner and Henderson are two different kinds of leaders in this team, aren't they? They're vocal.
Yeah.
You hear them talking, you know, during the week against Chelsea, I was sort of second row of the away end, and you know, you didn't hear much talking from anyone other than Van Dijk, really. James Milner talks the whole way through that game. You see him like G'ing them up before, and so, you know, everything's about perfection, about going again, about, you know, keeping the tempo high no matter what happens, and that's massive. Like, you know, there's a shout for him to start in midweek against Atletico, and yeah, you know, 2 games away just feels madness, doesn't it? Like 2 games away from the thing that we've you know, longed for so long. So yeah, look, I'm absolutely fine with Bournemouth, especially considering yesterday. Look, teams are going to have highs and lows and dips throughout the season, and you know, if that's our dip, then I'm all right with it.
Yeah, and also as well, I think, you know, some of the talk around the sort of level of performance, the quality of the performance, it's that type of game for me, how you win leagues, you know, just grinding it out, just getting the wins somehow. Liverpool have done that a lot this season, and it's a good trait to have, and as you say, people like Milner, people like Henderson have been central to that, so long may it continue. And I think, you know, you go into Wednesday, don't you? Okay, you're not saying they're absolutely brilliant, they're absolutely on fire, but equally you are going into Wednesday thinking we've got every chance.
Exactly,
because Liverpool have always got every chance, because we've seen them do it over and over again, and it'll be tough, but Anfield, European night,
this is
all the classics.
And like everyone was coming out of the game and being like, just, you know, can it be Wednesday right now? I think after the home leg, the away leg, we were all sort of infuriated by Atletico, not just the result, but, you know, the manner of how they won it, and you know, our performance, but also, you know, their tactics and the way that Simeone is and the way G's up the crowd, and that's all right. That they use their home crowd to their advantage, and now we'll use ours like we have time and time again. It feels like this is when Liverpool, the club, are at their best, when we're up against it, when we have to kick back, and when the odds are slightly against us. And someone's just walked across the camera as we're talking. Brilliant. So yeah, roll on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll keep on ramping it up. There'll be more podcasts, more videos, stuff on the website as well. The website's now sound.
Yeah. Everything working now. Yeah, just in time.
Yeah, so get on all that. That has been Talking Reds. We're gonna go and warm up on that in a bit. Up the Reds.